Hey guys, what is going on? Coach Sam here. Hopefully everyone is doing well today. We've got a quick video for you guys about Christian Yelich, and just like we talked about in the last video, we talked about rotation and bat lag. Today we are talking about our contact point. So the most important part of our swing is definitely contact point, because you can do all sorts of crazy different things with your swing, but if you get to a good point of contact, you're going to have an opportunity to do some damage. So we got Yelich. I'm going to play him through a couple times. He's just got a beautiful swing, right? So we've talked about um, where to be when your foot lands and how you position yourself when you start to take your swing, so on and so forth. All we want to talk about today is literally hitting the ball, literally contact, right? So I know it's a little bit blurry, but you guys can tell that's where the ball is and that's where the bat is, okay? So I'm going to draw a couple lines here because there's a couple key fundamentals we want to keep in mind, okay? Number one, we'll start from the ground up, okay? Number one is he's hitting against a firm front side. I know some guys get to contact. Daniel Murphy's an exception where he keeps that leg bent sometimes. Guys are going to get to contact, and that front leg is going to be firm. The only reason Daniel Murphy's is an exception is because he keeps his posture. Um, and he stays behind his front hip and his front knee. So without getting too complex, staying back and staying behind that front leg is keeping this front hip inside of this front knee and this front foot inside of that front knee. So you see the triangular position, you see the athletic position, and your posture is keeping it a tall backside with your lower half and your upper half. So you guys can see that posture right there. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to see guys with a firm front leg, okay? So they're going to go from a bent position when they land, that front foot lands, and they're going to get to a firm front side when they rotate, okay? So that is the fundamental. That is going to be apparent in all big league hitters. We'll play it through again one more time so we can clear these lines up. Okay, contact point. This one is just after contact, but it's the same positioning. Back leg, right? So that back hip is going to rotate. That back hip is going to come through where he's virtually square to the ball. Okay. Some guys rotate a little bit too far. Some guys don't rotate enough. If we want to get complex with this thing, an outside pitch you're going to rotate a little bit less. An inside pitch you're going to rotate a little bit more. So just know that this back hip rotates forward. And it's not the front hip that opens up. A lot of kids open up with the front hip, and that's when they come flying off the ball and their front shoulder comes flying off the ball. The same principle applies for that front shoulder and that back shoulder. The back shoulder rotates through and the front shoulder stays in. So two big points to keep in mind that hopefully helps you guys out. As far as this back foot rotating, everyone's going to be a little bit different, but that back knee is going to be moving towards the front knee. So at contact, that knee is going to be working down towards that front foot. It's just called a ground angle where you're creating force going towards the pitcher. We talked about the back hip. We talked about posture on this back side here. Arms. This is a big thing, right? Arms are bent at contact. You're going to be much stronger with your arms bent than with your arms straight out. Just think about the analogy of trying to carry a really heavy weight. If you're trying to carry a heavy weight, you wouldn't hold it really far away from your body. That'd be really tough, right? You'd be stronger with your arms bent. Your arms don't extend until after contact, after you hit the ball, because that's just keeping your hands and your bat on path with the ball longer. So arms bent at contact, and then they extend out and they reach out, which we'll get to a little bit more in a later video, okay? Now here's a big misconception that a lot of coaches and announcers and everything talk about, right? A level swing, okay? A level swing is level to the path of the pitch, okay? Average major league pitch is on a decline of 7 to 9 degrees because it's being thrown overhand from an elevated mound and gravity's pulling the ball down, right? And he's throwing to a squatted catcher. So here's Contreras' glove, and here's the ball, right? So that line represents where the ball is coming in on. So you want to swing on that same slight incline for the hitter, slight decline for the pitcher. Okay? In order to do that, this barrel of the bat has to work below your hands, always, regardless of the height of the pitch. The higher the pitch, you just have to work to keep your hands above the ball. The lower the pitch, your barrel is going to automatically be below your hands just because of positioning. So barrel always underneath your hands. If your barrel is even with your hands, you're going to pop a lot of balls up, and you're going to have difficulty staying on path with the ball for a long period of time. So just to clean some of these lines up, I'm going to let the video play, and we're going to get to contact again. We'll go through one more time because there's a couple more key points we want to keep in mind. There we go. Contact. Obviously, everyone knows. Head down in front of home plate. If you're looking back here, which a lot of players do, that was a poor arrow. If you're looking back, the ball's too deep on you, and the ball has gotten too far towards the catcher, right? So eyes always out in front. And science actually shows us that we lose sight of the ball somewhere between 6 and 8 feet out in front of home plate. So when your coaches tell you to see the ball hit the bat, it's physically impossible with a major league pitch. Guys throwing 90 miles an hour, even harder than 90 miles an hour, 95, 100. It is physically impossible to track a pitch and to see it hit your bat. So that's not just my opinion or anything like that. That is scientifically proven. So just understand that as a hitter and as a coach, you're going to lose the ball a little bit out in front. Some guys with really exceptional eyesight can track it a little bit deeper, but your eyes, the fundamental of the swing is your eyes want to be just out in front of home plate as you're tracking the ball. Okay? Last couple things to keep in mind. This back foot can literally come up. Some guys drag forward. Once I play this through again, you'll see Yelich has a little bit of a drag line, whereas toe just drags forward a tad. Okay? Some guys come up off the ground. Some guys just rotate and then come back down after contact. But if we're doing it correctly and we're keeping this front foot and this front knee and this front hip all in the correct position, all of our weight's going to be bearing on that front leg. Okay? There's going to be very few times where we're fooled and we just have to compete and some of our weight is on that back foot. But for an ideal swing, for the most efficient swing, for our strongest swing, all our weight's going to be bearing on that front leg. So transferring onto the front leg, it's just the same thing you do with throwing. You don't leave any of your weight back when you throw. Think about a pitcher. A pitcher would never try to deliver a pitch to home plate and leave his foot, some of his weight on the rubber. He wouldn't throw it very hard. He'd be throwing with all of his arms. So transfer onto that front leg as long as you know how to transfer into that front leg and keep your weight behind that knee and behind that front foot. So palm up, palm down, lead elbow works up. The lead elbow works below that back elbow. Other than that, there's a lot of key points to keep in mind there, so I'll put it in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we've got new stuff coming out all the time. This is the most important point of our swing, contact. Hit the thumbs up button. Guys, I appreciate you. Subscribe to the page, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Take care, guys.